Hello, everyone. Today is Sunday, September 29, 2024. Let's review the charts in gold. Basically, what we have here is we do have the daily chart. You can see it right there, and this is gold. What we do have here is an uptrend, a very nice and strong move to the upside during the month of September. So you see that started here. This is my initial daily range. So you have the top of that first day is 2539 and the bottom is 2500. So it went over there, moved all the way to the upside with also a touch to the break of the range or compression, right? So you do have a compression right there. Price was moving up there, teasing this upper part of this channel, but then started to move sideways, and then at the end of the day came and broke to the upside right in that candle, and then revisited back here and then bounced back up again. So let's review what those levels are, and I'm going to put this mark here, and then you will see that that top over there, it's exactly, that is 2570 is exactly the low of that point right there. So it went there, touched this point, came back down, moved up, and then revisit here, and then from there bounced again. Now, what we can expect for the potential near future is that this point right here, it's also visited at some point. Put that one over there and then come back right here. There's going to be a support at this level here, if not coming back to this level as well, that potentially this level right here. So we do have that level up there and then this level down below here to be potentially revisited. That's the daily. What happened Thursday and Friday went up all the way to 2700, 2708 actually, and then came back and touched the 2662 right here and started to move up again. So I would say that we are a little bit extended. You see that here in the momentum indicator, which is the stochastics. That one is coming back down with potentially a signal of a red arrow right there that could cross to the downside on the stochastics. On the momentum, the last 3 days have lost some momentum, and you see that has been in a little bit of horizontal move right there. Still, gold is very strong and it's moving to the upside. You can see that it's clearly moved to the upside. So what we are favoring now is bullish trades to the upside. If you try to bet against gold to the downside, I would say that there's a possibility, but you are going against the trend. So let's go to the 240 minutes. So this one is 4 hours chart. Let me expand it here a little bit for you. And you see that also reflects that sideways move that has happened in the last 3 days. You can see that it's going up, down. There's a little bit of deceiveness in this chart here, 2680. I think that it closed on Friday. Yeah, 2680 when it was closed. We're good there. Basically, you go all the way up. You have this rejection at that level, which serves almost perfect to that support right here for the bounce late Friday. So you do have that point over there that served as support. Then price went all the way up, came back down, and then made this break at that point, and then came back and then visited this area. So that area, I would say, that is completed. Now we do have the 50 SMA down below, a potential magnet for price to visit there. The 50 SMA on the 240 minutes. At this point, it seems that it's going to continue moving to the upside. At some point, I would say that it's going to touch it again, like it did in this point here, and it did it in this point here. And it's about time, if we consider that this cycle could repeat, it could go and do that and revisit that one. If you are going to take up long trades as well, it seems that this one is moving sideways at this point, but very, very strong move last week, moving to the upside. So that is gold. I'm leaning towards being more bullish than bearish, especially if it moves above this point here. It seems that there's plenty of liquidity up here for price to be rejected, but you never know. So let's wait and see. Let's go back and check the hourly price movement here again. You know, higher highs and higher lows right here, higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. There's a new high, and then there's a break right here. I would say break of structure, but we are actually coming back to this area here. But nevertheless, there was a piece to the downside right here below this channel up here. So we do have a low right here, which is lower than this one here, and then trying to look for a high. And if it fails to move above that point there, we are going to have a new lower high right there, which means that we may visit this 200 moving average right here. This is the 50 on this 60-minute chart, and the price now it's below it, so it broke it to the downside right there. What I'm still looking for here is a bounce. We did have again the same point as we saw before. Price went there, create a resistance level, came back down, cross it above, maintaining the structure, and then move sideways right here, then came back to that level and then started to move up once again. On the 60 minutes, it seems that we are bullish, and we do have some good resistance up here. If it makes a lower high, then this one again could go to the downside. So be careful on that one. Let's change this one to 30 minutes and see what we see in the 30 minutes chart. In here, we do have this spaghetti formation, right? Momentum is still to the downside right there. So we are having lower highs and lower lows. Price is trying to move to the upside. I would say that a nice trend reversal breakout if we consider that these are a double bottom right here, right? So if price comes here, revisit it, and then potentially move to the upside there. So I would be cautious on going either way, because as I said, there is a good resistance above this price right here. And it seems that we are right at the point where we are in the lows of this channel right there, right? More proof that it could go to the upside is what I would need on this one. But in the very, very short term, we do have a potential double bottom right there that could mean that this one is going to start looking for a new high here, or an intermediate high that could move in this direction as well. Yeah, that is the anchor chart on the 60 minutes, the one that I used. Let's go and see what the Renko chart does. So this one is the entry chart. Now I'm gonna move. If you give me a moment, I'm gonna put it in a different way. I like to have the anchor chart to the left, so I have more space in here. So, okay. So here we do have the anchor chart on the 30 minutes. We see that at this point, this price on Friday on the 30 minutes, at this point, we're looking for bounces of the lows, right? So this trade is risky, somewhat risky, let's say. You're looking for a new high, but it failed over here. This price here, this rejection is actually a trap for the bulls. People that anticipated that this price was going to go there. Even I think that there's a couple of ticks that went to the upside, then it was rejected and moved to the downside. This point here is where you wanted to look for a short. What would be the target? The target would be the 200 right there. So you have a move to the upside, then coming back down. A doji right here, you see a big candle to the upside and a candle to the downside with a very small little body that there came back down and then started to move to the downside right here. And here is where I said that we are looking for this double bottom with a break to the upside right there. Okay, so on the trigger chart, and it's where is my seems that right there. Okay, so let's expand this one a little bit. So overnight price was actually moving to the downside, predicting a little bit a bounce and a potential fail. So you do have, if you go with that, then you would be looking for a bounce to this upper side right here, and eventually this area right here where you would have a stop in the very top of this move. Then price came back down in the overnight, and then right after the market opened, it broke above this channel, breaking the structure, and then came back down, visited here, and started to move to the upside. You would be okay, and you would be allowed to trade to the upside right here, but then focusing and paying attention to this area, because there's a plenty of resistance at that point, which is given by this area right there. Okay, went over there, touched that high, and started to come back, and here is where it fails, and then came back down. So you have a new shorter trend right there, and then it started to move down, and now you're looking for a short move. Okay, confirmation here, well, didn't happen right there. You are not having any setups, and what I'm doing here is look for setups. So basically in this area, if we're looking at and higher lows here, you have a lower high and then a break of that low right there, and looking for a lower low. And now after it does that, now you need to start looking for bounces off of the either the moving average or bounces off of the cloud, unless you have a evidence that this is going to start moving in a range, right? But at this point, I'm assuming right here that we are moving to the downside as this formation, which can be called in the different ways. I call it a trend reversal breakout, but you can also call it a head and shoulders right there. Okay, so came back down, break the right side of the shoulder, and then it started to come back down. Look at how it tries to go above this point again, right here, and then fails and come back down. Even in here, gives a double top, and now it's going to start failing. The other thing that you have to notice is this line right there. This one is the overnight opening, right? So if you move this one here and go to that point over there, this is where the market opened. And normally what happened is that, you know, you have an open, it is rejected, you're looking at that price over here, and then, you know, price comes down, visit that one again, fails on this one, and move back down to the downside. So it does that in here, went in there, tried to make a new high, makes actually a double top, and then it started to move down. And here you have more evidence that the move was going to go to the downside. So you're looking for potentially that entry there, which is a bounce of the moving average in this case. It make actually an up down right there. So let me expand it a little bit so we can see if it does it better. So right here you have you know, price moving to the upside in these candles, and then right there try to make a low, then it painted this one, but then it comes back making a nap and then a down again. So this one is an up down. Evidence that it's going to keep moving is that candle right here, when it really moved and moved to the downside, then came back up, and then another up down in compression, and we are at this point above the opening, the 15 minutes opening range, which is actually these two lines right there. So this is 15 minutes from 8:20 to 8:35 is where I measure it. Okay, so goes and try to break, it fails, come back up, and then up down, and then came back another this new support, and when it breaks, and now it comes resistance, a new up down, and then moved again to the downside. If you enter this break on the 15-minute to the downside, your stop should have been there and it was never touched. Then move to the downside, then started to move again, and you have a range, and then a new break to the downside right there, and then a move there. So you do have another up down, and then a very clean 34 EMA right there against the yellow line there. A new, this one it's not considered a bounce because it has actually two candles to the left, but it kept moving. So yeah, it doesn't really touch the 34. It bounced off of the 21 EMA or 18 EMA right here, and then came back down. Then you have another one right there. This one is a 34 EMA. Now you have already been extended a little bit. So now you're at this point here. Now, so let me put this channel right there. So in the overnight, I identified also connecting this point and that point there in the overnight, and then some pivots to the other side in the lower side here. Then I identified this one as a range. Okay, so most likely I'm looking for this area up here and this area down there, which is red and green, to see if it's going to bounce on this area. Normally, what could happen here, and if it goes below this green area in a bearish mode, comes back, makes some move here, and then fails and move back down again. But it also can, do the same here and then respect the green area, which is a reversal zone, and then move to the upside, back to the upside. In this case, what it does, it comes back down, back down, back down, touch the lower side of this area here. And now what I'm doing here is to look for a trend reversal breakout, right? So here it doesn't do it there, came back down, move to the downside, and then I need confirmation that this one is going to keep moving to the downside because it already broke. But if it comes back to this area, I would expect that this one to try to move to the upper side again, respecting the range that I was looking for. So in this case here, make a bounce there. This is probably potentially not an area to enter. And unless it breaks, now we do have a range here. And then that range, I'm waiting for it to break to the downside or to break to the upside right there. Move, 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 and now it's breaking to the upside, make a new bounce right there at the, let's say 11:30, then start moving to the upside, and then really starts moving in this support area right there. So a couple of potential entries right there. We do have a compression area for a trend reversal breakout. So lower highs and lower lows, a high, then a move sideways, and then break to the upside right there. Coming back down, touch it, and then move to the upside. So a good entry level right there. And then another, I don't think that this one is a good area to enter, but because what I said before, if you have higher highs and higher lows, you don't enter in these breaks. You enter in the bounces right here. Okay. So in this case, same thing. You're not entering in this break. You're entering in the break of that compression, and then you're looking for a retracement, which can be that one or can be somewhere there if you're looking for a better confirmation or more reliable, which is that yellow line or the blue line. So came back down, it didn't do it, then came back down. At this point, I feel more bearish, but it's still, and in here, I see some good support right here. So I'm not going to risk unless it moves below this area here. And I'm going to risk to the downside because it already came back below that green area. And came back down, never touched this line below, which is the low at this point, the low of the day, and then came back up and started to move sideways again, and then came back sideways again, sideways, sideways, and then make a final move. And then here momentum is up, and then you are looking at a potential bounce. This is a bounce off of this 18 EMA, and then you have here some resistance. So you have 2 points here for resistance, which could indicate another range in this area. So double top, double bottom, it's making a range right there, and then finally tries to break, fails. So if you entered here, that's fine because you are looking at that entry there, but it failed. So you probably wanted to be stopped out, and were stopped out at this level, losing a little bit of money there, but better to be safe at this point and not wait until it comes to the other side again in the range to have all of these loss, and then you see how it's going to move. Again, trying to make a new low here, and at this point failed. So no point of entry right here because you are too close to the support. Then came back down, enter again, and it's tricky, right? You enter it here thinking that it was going to continue moving to the downside, but it fails again, and now it started to move to the upside. So another trend reversal breakout, very choppy. This market has been very, very choppy right here. Very, very tricky to trade this one. And you have a move, another range here, another compression, and it seems that this one is going to break to the upside, and finally tries again, choppy, bounce off of these 34 and still in the range. So tricky. I would wait potentially to do something like that and move to the upside right there. See what it does, and then at the end of the day, which is 3:30, very few people are looking at the market at this point, but what happened is that you have the range, you have a bounce, and then move to the upside at the end of the day with a very nice rally right there, which is this candle right here in the 30 minutes. Okay, so after noon you do have a bounce to the downside, but in the range, a 34 EMA or week off of the 34, another week off of the 34 right there, but very, very much in a range. And you can see a range there, unless you were able to predict that break at the end of the day, which happens right there. It really didn't make any sense to go long at this point on the trend reversal breakout there. If you consider that these are a similar lows, or it doesn't give you a higher low. So basically what I'm looking for in here is a higher low and then a break to the upside. But that higher low never happened. It really price went all the way to a similar low, even below, and then bounce off of there. Okay, so that's the market. Gold did. There was obviously, if you look at the big picture, there was good opportunities in this area here. Again, you're looking for that break, coming back, go to that support right here, which is the 200. So if that was your target, then you probably did really good from potentially this area here to that area down below. Right there. I would say that probably a little bit less there when it broke really right there. So plenty of profit to make. And if you did, then you're looking for actually around $1,500 per contract right there. $1,500. Okay. So that's the analysis for this week. Hopefully you like it. If you did, press the like button and subscribe to the channel for new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.